Pilate said to him, "So, you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. For this purpose I was born, and for this purpose I have come into the world, to bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth listens to my voice." It is Tuesday, the 21st day of March, 2023, and it's time for the reading of our devotional thought for today, coming from the book Truth for Life by pastor and author Alistair Begg. Today's devotional thought is entitled, "The Freedom of the Rule." That's the freedom of His rule. And the verse today, John chapter 18, verse 37, which reads, Pilate said to him, "So, you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. For this purpose I was born, and for this purpose I have come into the world, to bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth listens to my voice." That's John chapter 18, verse 37. Pastor Alistair Begg writes, "By nature we believe we have the right to rule our own lives. We think that nobody has the authority to tell us what to do or to rule over us. We will decide ourselves, define who we are, and mold our own future. Yet this is a dreadful path, and it leads only to despair. For when we look within, however much we have been told to think positively and to believe in ourselves, we are still confronted by our need, our failure, our frailty, and our inadequacy. And when we look outside, we see a divided culture and flawed institutions. To what then should we look? The Old Testament records Israel's repeated rebellion against God's rule. In an attempt to look just like the nations around them, the Israelites demanded an earthly king. 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 5. Tragically, all of Israel's kings eventually crumbled to dust. The mighty Saul, the great David, the wise Solomon all failed politically, morally, and religiously. Surely the people in the streets were making the same complaints that we hear today. Quote, "This is not what we were led to expect when this person became our leader. There must be someone better than this." Indeed, there is someone better. Jesus, Son of God, Son of Man, is the Creator, Sustainer, and the King of the universe. For by Him all things were created. He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together. Colossians 1, verses 16 and 17. He is the King who will perfectly fulfill the demands of the role. In His days, the righteous flourish and peace abounds. Psalm 72, verse 7. He will deliver the needy, the poor, and the helpless. All nations will serve Him, and the whole earth will be filled with His glory. As question 26 of the Westminster Shorter Catechism explains, Jesus carries out His kindly office in subduing us to Himself, in ruling and defending us, and in restraining and conquering all His and our enemies. He comes to reign over us in such a way that we find real freedom in giving up our autonomy and real rest in quitting from our efforts to make our own future. "Come to me," He says, "take my yoke upon you and learn from me, and you will find rest for your souls." Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 and 29. Jesus is the resurrected and ascended King. His claim on us is total, and our response is all or it is nothing. We must decide whether Christ's right to rule and reign over the universe will extend to every facet of our lives as well. Only then will we find Him to be our shield and defender. It is as you bow the knee to Him in those areas of life where you find it hardest, trusting that His rule is better than yours, that you give Him the place that He deserves and find the freedom and the future that you long for. What a beautiful devotional thought, and I love that last sentence that says, "It is as you bow the knee to Him to those areas of your lives where you find it the hardest, trusting that His rule is better than yours, that you give Him the place that He deserves and find the freedom and the future that you long for. May you truly take heart these words written in our devotional thought today, because we all long for that future that only can be found in the freedom that's given to us by our Lord Jesus Christ. Well, Clive Walsh here, trusting that you were ministered to, encouraged, and blessed, as I was, by reading today's devotional thought. And for those of you continuing reading the Word in a year, your assignment today is Job chapter 41 and 42, and 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verses 1 through 20. And may the Lord richly bless you.